710 ESPN Seattle presents
The Calabro Show warm-up, powered by the law offices of Heidi Hunt.
Hi, welcome to the warm-up. I'm not Kevin, I know that. It is holiday weekend. In 4 days, turkey, stuffing, cranberry sauce. Stuffing or dressing, did we decide? Because we had this conversation last week. Yeah. Dressing's a very southern thing, and I'm from the South, and about 75% of people don't know what I say, or what I mean when I say dressing. It's stuffing. Stuffing. Turkey stuffing.
What, people in Seattle don't know that dressing is stuffing?
They call it stuffing.
Huh. Well, see, we were talking about this because there's part of it, if you have too much stuffing or too much dressing, you would call the part that goes in the bird stuffing and the rest of it dressing. You could go that far, couldn't you?
Okay, so you stuff the bird and you dress the plate.
Yeah, something like that.
More in a minute. Okay, I don't care what you call it. It's delicious. It's my favorite part of the Thanksgiving meal. You can add gravy. You can add like chopped up turkey. You can add cranberry sauce.
Right.
You can smash it together with mashed potatoes. It's the most versatile part of the Thanksgiving meal. That is the stuffing / dressing.
Did you hear what Kevin adds to his mom's recipe?
Mm-mm.
Oysters in the dressing. What do you think?
Well, oyster stuffing I've had.
Have you? I've never had that. Never even heard of it.
It's amazing.
Brady's cringing. He doesn't like that idea of that. I like sausage in my stuffing. Have you ever had sausage in your stuffing?
Anyway, coming up today on the program...
Chestnuts? That's pretty good.
There's a lot going on. I'd be remiss in setting up our show and discussing what we're going to be discussing for 3 hours without passing along our condolences to the family of Greg Holman, to everyone, many whom a lot of us work with closely year-round and certainly seasonally with the Mariners family in the passing of Greg Holman. Devastating story. There aren't words. I mean, we talk about sports for a living. We don't talk about this stuff, and on the heels of the Penn State stuff, and then everything else. I mean, a 24-year-old man losing his life is bigger than anyone losing his baseball career, and certainly our just hearts kind of break.
Well, yeah, and the circumstances surrounding it. I just got up. I look at Yahoo every day, and lead story Yahoo. I'm going, wow, just hard to believe. And then to read about the potential of his brother being involved with that, it's just tragic.
It is. We will be reflecting back and remembering Greg Holman, his far too brief time with the Mariners at the major league level. And when you put it into context, Jim, this is a kid who was signed when he was 16, so he's been a part of this family for a very long time. So Shannon Dreyer had a conversation with Brendan Ryan. We'll bring you some of those remarks. Bob and Gras spoke with Jack Zarinzik. We'll bring you some of those remarks and give you an opportunity to weigh in as well. Huge win for the Seahawks, and they didn't go out there and kind of play nip and tuck for 4 quarters. They went out and beat a team. They went out and beat the Rams, and it was fun to watch. They won with turnovers and not making dastardly mistakes on offense. That was fun.
Oh, they were amazing. They dominated, and it was surprising in that it happened on the road and that they trailed 7-0. I thought, oh man, here they go. They're after beating the Ravens, they go on the road. So difficult in the NFL to win on the road, and then after that, complete domination. I love the Sidney Rice pass, and I saw the Pete Carroll show. Do you ever watch that with Paul Sylvie? That's a fun deal. Everybody should watch that Sunday night. Paul Sylvie with Pete Carroll. Talking about how they felt like they were getting too conservative with the play call, the very first play call, and so they wanted to come out with some razzle-dazzle, and damned if it didn't work. I mean, it was
a little bit of razzle.
I looked at it about 3 times. He threw it 52 yards in the air.
And Tavares afterwards says that Sidney has made that pass in every practice that he's ever been with him. Gotta wonder if Darrell Bevel, Pete Carroll, at the suggestion of Tavares Jackson and certainly Sidney Rice and Mike Williams aren't going to be like, hey, you know what, guys, let's do a little bit more of that. Tavares throwing 2 picks on his first 2 pass attempts, that was a little bit of a concern, and the fact that offense really didn't get going. But Jim, it comes back around to the defense. I mean, you give that defense 1 turnover and an opportunity to put the ball back in the offense's hands and create scores off of your defense. All of a sudden, this team has a strength that we didn't see coming but is progressing more and more and more through the season. And at 4 o'clock, we'll talk with Professor John Clayton about that. And if all of a sudden the plans for the Seahawks and where they may be drafting and what they may be drafting, wherever they are picking, I think now the focus changes away from what everyone said and the conventional wisdom that they needed a quarterback. Why don't you add to your strength? If the defense is the strength of your team, why don't you make that first pick something that adds to what makes you your strongest?
Well, especially when you look at what happened over the weekend with Andrew Luck, he's still going to be the number one guy, and then Matt Barkley enhancing his resume with that win over Oregon. So you figure that he's going to be,
boy, he's good, huh?
top 5 or 6 anyway at this point. Landry Jones is right up there too, and the Seahawks, the way they're playing, they're probably going to end up drafting in the teens at this point. So you maybe could go after a guy like Robert Griffin, who I was impressed with when I saw him Saturday night.
How about that game?
But I'm with you. I'd rather see a pass rusher, get the number 1 pass rusher on the board, and maybe bide your time with Jackson a little longer.
Maybe at least one more season.
Did I just say that?
I'm going to have to go back and watch the tape. John Clayton at 4 helps us break that down. Justin Forsett joins us 3:30 for the big win. Kevin Calabro show at 3 on 710 ESPN Seattle. Did I do good?
You did great.
Okay.
I did worse, but you did great.